Hey, what's good, y'all? This is Ryan Jackson from Ryan Jackson LLC. Hope y'all have had a blessed and wonderful day or are having a blessed and wonderful day. And the likelihood that you're not, always remember that tough times don't last, but tough people do. Um, just thank God for the day because without him, he wouldn't, it's not possible. So we give all thanks and praise to Allah. God will see you through. I can bear witness to this. Just put your trust and faith in him. Get into the topic for this video. As we saw on Friday, I believe it was Friday, Keefe D was arrested for his alleged involvement in the death of Tupac back on September 7th, 1996, on the Las Vegas Strip. We all know Pac was there with Suge and his cronies. They were there for the Tyson fight. September 7th, 1996, 27 years ago. Yeah, just became 27 years ago. So on that fateful night, Tupac and Suge were driving down. Well, Suge was driving. Tupac was in the passenger seat. They were driving down in the Vegas Strip. A car pulled up, and shots rang out. Unfortunately, Tupac was hit. I don't know how many times, but according to Vegas, and I can't remember the officer's name, a Vegas policeman, when he got on scene, he said that Tupac was already dead. Um, so I guess yeah, that night, and so they officially said September 14th, a week later, that Pac had passed. But according to that policeman, he said when he got on scene, he was the first officer on scene, and he said that Tupac had died when he got there. But in any event, so now Keefe D, for quite some time now, I want to say for the past almost year, maybe a year, he's been doing interviews on social media talking about just stuff that he shouldn't have been talking about. He put himself on the radar of law enforcement, unfortunately, because he was flapping his gums about, again, stuff that he shouldn't have been flapping his gums about. Pretty much his involvement in Tupac's murder. He claimed that he was in the car um, when Pac got murdered. He wasn't in the car. Keefe D probably know who the shooters were, who the murderers of our great brother Tupac Shakur were, but he was not involved. He was not in the car. He was not. Them arresting Keefe D it's a joke. It's a farce. It is a farce. It is a farce to the utmost level. He wasn't involved. He probably knows who was. Orlando Anderson knew who was, and Orlando Anderson was murdered. It wasn't Orlando Anderson was not murdered shooting at another gang member. That is a damn lie. These people watch too many movies. Pay attention to what they're doing. They just arresting any nigga. Oh, Tupac, okay. And now with social media, unfortunately, with him flapping his gums doing interviews on YouTube, he came across their radar. But I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be very clear on this. This does not give justice to Mr. Billy Garland, Tupac's father, Mutulu Shakur, who I believe is gravely ill. I believe he's still is Mutulu still alive? I know he's gravely ill. But Tupac's siblings, his aunts, his family members, his friends, this does not give them justice by any means. It does not. And unfortunately, Miss Afeni Shakur passed away some years ago. She never lived to see justice for her son. And Mr. Garland is still alive, and this is not justice for his son. This is not justice for the family, his friends. This is just a farce. That's all it is. They pull some Negro that was flapping his gums, and they quote unquote solved the murder. Is what I saw on Fox News. I was watching it at work. Solved the murder. This is the final piece of the puzzle. After 27 years, no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. This is the same thing they did with Brother Malcolm's murder. This brother that's on my shirt. They did the same thing with Brother Malcolm. 31 years later, Tupac. The man who murdered Malcolm, the men who murdered Malcolm X, the men who murdered Malcolm X were never brought to justice. Never. Unfortunately, Sister Dr. Betty Shabazz and his daughters, his surviving relatives, never received justice for Brother Malcolm's murder. They did not. Tupac Shakur's family, they're not receiving justice for their family member's murder. This is a joke. What the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police are doing is a joke. It's ridiculous. It's it's given Mr. Garland, Tupac's siblings, his friends, it's giving them the middle finger. So, okay, y'all shut up. Now we're going to solve the murder, and it's a big F you to them. Pay attention. 4 months from now, in February 11th to be exact, Las Vegas will be hosting the Super Bowl. Let me repeat that. 4 months from now, February 11th, Las Vegas will be hosting the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 58, I believe it is, will be in Las Vegas this February. Yep. And Las Vegas has been in a bad light lately with the Tupac murder over the past, because this has grown legs over the last year. You know, that's to include the Dear Mama documentary done by one of the Hughes brothers that premiered on FX back in April. So this whole thing with Tupac, the fascination with his murder, the who did what, where, how, when, why, has gained legs over the past year. And Keefe D was flapping his gums, and he was on the radar of law enforcement. So he was the one that's still around, I guess, at that time, who's still around now. So they just grabbed the one who they just grabbed him. They say, okay, we're gonna grab him and say, you know, we've solved the piece of the puzzle. No, you haven't. No, you have not. Let's keep it 1,000. No, you have not. And if you solve Tupac's murder, you solve Biggie's murder, because those two murders were connected. I'm going to repeat myself again. If you solve Tupac's murder, you solve Biggie's murder too, because those two murders were connected. They were. So you could also say that Miss Valletta Wallace is not receiving justice. Biggie's loved ones, his children, are not receiving justice. And Gene, a good brother of mine, mentioned Gene Deal the other night. Gene Deal is spilling the beans. He knows where the bodies are buried. Gene Deal is a real that's a real G right there. Have y'all been watching his interviews on the Art of Dialogue? If you haven't, I I recommend that you do, because this man is telling her who, what, why, when, and where. I mean, my God, he's exposing Pissy Diddy, Pissy D, Puffy P Diddy. That's what I call him, Pissy D. He's exposing them big time. And I'm going to say this: Puffy, Pissy D, P Diddy, Papa Diddy Pop, whatever he call himself these days. He's responsible to the Tupac murder. He's responsible, excuse me, he's responsible for the Tupac murder. As a matter of fact, he called in a hit on Tupac to have him murdered. Southside Crips. The Southside Crips and the LAPD and Diddy are connected. So, Diddy, Pissy D, whatever you want to call him, called in a hit to the Southside Crips to be in Vegas to murder Pac. Diddy did not want to pay them their money. Pissy D did not want to, give up the bread. So they in turn, now pay attention to this, they in turn 6 months later murdered Biggie in LA. Why was Biggie in LA? Gene Deal said Biggie should have been in London. He was scheduled to be in London, but they had to cancel because he had to go to LA. It was still hot out here on the West Coast, particularly in LA. It was still hot out here. The climate was not right. Biggie did an interview uh, days before he died on Rap City. I could bear witness to this, and many of you can too. On Rap City, Joe Claire did an interview with Biggie in LA, and he said he was out there. Matter of fact, it was maybe 3 days. I want to say maybe 3 or 4 days before he was murdered. He did an interview with Joe Claire on Rap City. They were at his hotel. It was outside. And he said, "You want to come out west to squash all the East Coast, West Coast beef that was going on." This was in early 1997. Let's see. Biggie was doing radio interviews on LA radio stations saying that he was out west. He had came out to squash the East Coast, West Coast beef. It was still hot out here. That was in early March 1997. I want to say the interview he did on BT, he died on March 9th, which was a Saturday night. I want to say the interview was maybe March 5th, March 6th, maybe. It was in early March 1997. It was still hot out here, particularly in Southern California. I thought Biggie came out here too soon. I said it's too soon because it's 6 months after Pac's murder. Um, it's too soon. Just wait. But he wanted to come out. Did he want to come out, or was he forced to come out by Diddy? And with him coming out on that fateful night, March 9th, the notorious B.I.G. Biggie was murdered. May the souls of Tupac and Biggie, may Allah be pleased with their souls. It's so unfair what happened. It was media driven, yes. From Rolling Stone, um, Vibe magazine, The Source, they kept amping this up, amping it up. MTV kept amping it up. The record execs, they benefited tremendously off the East Coast, West Coast beef. Am I right, or am I absolutely right? They benefited tremendously because what says money? How can you make billions if you don't cause chaos? It's what the American government has done all around the world over. War is profitable. Destruction is profitable. It's big business. Always will be, always has been. It is big business, baby. The destruction. And when you divide a people and you cause chaos, that's even more profitable. That's what the white man did in Africa when they brought many of our ancestors over here and made them become slaves. That's what they did. The Europeans. Divide and conquer. It's profitable. Big business, baby. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down. Hit the subscribe button so you get notifications on when I do videos on here. Well, yeah, that's what they did. And they benefited tremendously from it because they didn't do anything to stop it. Suge Knight benefited greatly from it. Pissy D, Puffy, P. Diddy, Papa Diddy Pop, he benefited greatly from it. But there was a casualty. It was Tupac. Biggie was collateral damage. So was the destruction of hip hop. I told a good brother of mine this on yesterday. I said when Tupac was murdered, that was a blow to hip hop. Hip hop was a great ship, like the Titanic, great ship. The ship is hip hop. When Tupac was murdered, it took a blow. Bam, took a blow. It was able to steer the course. Took a blow, wobbled a little bit, was losing water, was taking on some water, able to repair it and steer the course. When Biggie died on March 9th, that was the iceberg that sunk the ship. That was the proverbial iceberg that sunk hip hop's ship. It sunk it, and it's gone. It sunk on that was March 9th, 1997. It sunk the ship. Sunk it. Like I always have said, God bless Wu-Tang Clan. God bless the Lost Boys. God bless even Jay-Z. God bless DMX, Big Pun, Big L, the late Big L, who was gunned down in 1999, along with Freaky Ta of the Lost Boys 2 months later, early 1999. Two great artists, two great brothers. May Allah be pleased with their soul. Damn. 1999, gunned down. This was collateral damage. Collateral damage. Oh, I say God bless the Goody Mob. God bless Outkast. God bless Razkaz. Others who are making great music between 97 and 2000. Or 99, I should say, before we went into the 21st century. The years after Pac and Biggie's death. Those who were making great music. Redman, another one. Rakim came back. He took a 5-year hiatus and came back and dropped this album in late 97. God bless him. God bless KRS-One. God bless PE. They did the soundtrack for He Got Game in 98. So God bless all of them. But the ship has sunk. They tried to repair it and let it steer the course again, but it had already sunk because the ratchet music was coming in. And I hate to say it, but the South is responsible for the ratchetness that came in to what we have now. The late 90s, the 504 boys. Lil Wayne, BG. That garbage. Pay attention. Lil Wayne, BG, the 504 Boys, whatever, they came about after the deaths of Pac and Biggie, when hip hop has sunk. That's when they started to rise up. And this is where we at now. The Sexy Reds, the Futures, the Lil Nas X's. This is the garbage that we're dealing with now. No longer do our young girls aspire to be like Sister Soldier, MC Light, Queen Latifah, Yo Yo, Moni Love, Bahamadia, Rod Digger. They don't aspire to be like these sisters. They want to be like Sexy Red, Cardi B, Lizzo, the ratchetness. This is where we at now. Our young men, they don't want to listen to KRS-One, Public Enemy, Ice Cube, Brand Nubian, Poor Righteous Teachers. Nope. Lil Nas X, Future. This is what we're at. This is where we're at now. This is where we're at. Yeah, I understand. Brand Nubian, Poor Righteous Teachers, they're not putting out music, but you can still Google it. I mean, still go on YouTube and listen to it. Their music is still available on YouTube. Learning. They were uplifting the black community. Professor Griff, Chuck D. We have to give Professor Griff and Chuck D their flowers, as well as Lord Jamar, Sadat X, and Grand Puba. Poor Righteous Teachers, KRS-One. We have to give these brothers their flowers. Ice Cube. We have Brother Cam. We have to give them their flowers. Yo Yo, Queen Latifah, MC Light, Moni Love. They were spitting lyrics that was uplifting the black community. We were starting to come up. Hip hop was taking over. Black people were starting to listen to it, especially my age range, the Generation Xers. We were starting to pay attention. We started rocking the African medallions, Black Power, the late 80s, early 90s. And what happened? Gangster rap came in. Your Snoop, Doggy Style, The Chronic. Before that, The Chronic, and my good brother of mine mentioned this, The Chronic was actually the prequel to Doggy Style. This is where we're at now. And I know people say, and I'm gonna do a video on this too. People talk about NWA destroyed hip hop, the black community. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. I don't buy that. I asked this question on Saturday, and I didn't answer it. I just let people, allow people, to comment their opinion. But as far as I'm concerned, NWA did not destroy the black community or hip hop. They did not. Their intentions were to tell the world what they were seeing on a daily basis in their neighborhood in South Central and in Compton. That's what they were doing. Did a couple of members get off course? Yes. Eazy-E, unfortunately, and Dr. Dre, unfortunately, they got off course. The money got to them. Well, really, the Jerry Hellers And the Jimmy Iovine's got to him. Interscope. That's what got to him. Yep. The Jimmy Iovine's and the Jerry Hellers. That's who got to Easy E and Dr. Dre. DJ Yella. MC Ren. That's who got to him. Them two devils. And they took something that was pure and good and they made it into evil. Thankfully, before he passed, Brother Eazy-E woke up, started his own label, brought up Bone Thugs and Harmony. He had a group called Hoes with Attitudes, HWA. What was that group he had on his song, Real Motherfucking G's? Them brothers. So Easy was doing a thing. He woke up. He finally woke up and saw what Cube was saying. Dr. Dre woke up, but not really, because Dr. Dre went and joined Suge at Death Row. Then he woke up, he started Aftermath, which failed. Then he went back to sleep. And he's still asleep now. Dr. Dre is a sleeping coon. But that's another video for another day. And that's how I feel about Dr. Great businessman, but Dr. Dre, he's a coon. He be cooning. Thank God Brother Eazy-E woke up and saw what was going on. He saw what Cube saw years earlier. Because Cube broke up from NWA in 1990. That America's Most Wanted album is a classic. A classic. The Bomb Squad, which is the production team for for Public Enemy, they produced that album. America's Most Wanted. Great. That's a classic. For those of you who have not listened to America's Most Wanted, I pity you. Listen to that album. It hits harder now than it did 33 years ago when it dropped. It was prophesying things to come. And after the riots, Cube was just on one. So no, I don't buy the fact that Ice Cube or NWA destroyed hip hop of the Black community. They were just telling the world of what they were dealing with on a daily basis. The police, the crack epidemic. And we all were dealing with that. Not just in LA, but in Detroit, in Chicago, in Atlanta, in Philly, in New York, in Houston, and out here in Oakland, the Bay Area. They were all dealing with it. If you were a young Black man in the 1980s, a Gen Xer, we survived Reaganomics. We survived the crack epidemic. We all could speak to it. We all could bear witness to it. We saw how it tore up our community or our communities. We could all bear witness to it. With the Reagan administration, that devil, Ronald Reagan and his administration, what they did to the Black community. Reaganomics, the war on drugs, helicopters flying around your neighborhood, police with tanks marching down the street. They declared war on the Black community. Am I right or am I absolutely right? And I know I kind of got into the 2Pac with the Keefe D, but this all ties into it. But no, NWA didn't destroy. They didn't destroy hip hop. I love NWA, still do. Always love NWA. Yes, again, Brother Easy and Dr. Dre, they were enticed with the money, with the fame, and they kind of steered off course. They weren't focused. But Brother Easy woke up before he passed. He woke up, and I thank Allah for that. Brother Dr. Dre, you still sleeping, brother. You still sleep. Wake up. Wake the hell up, Dre. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down. Hit the subscribe button so you get notifications on the new videos on here. So I could see Brother Cam's point and Brother Special Ed. I could see their point that they're making, but I also understand why Ice Cube is angry about people saying that about NWA. I get it. I understand why Cube is upset and angry. I do. And he has every right to be. But getting that back to and I'm gonna do a video on that too. If I don't do it today, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. But getting back to Keefe D, this is just a farce. This is the same way they treating the 2Pac murder, the same way that they treated Brother Malcolm's murder. It's eerily similar. And Money B said, I just saw something on YouTube. Money B said from Digital Underground, he said that the police are responsible for 2Pac's death. And I agree wholeheartedly, 1,000%. The police played a huge role in the death of 2Pac because one of the members of the South Side Crips, Reggie Wrong or uh, Reggie Wright, Wrong is what my brother called him. He had ties to the South Side Crips, and he was a policeman. He was a police officer in the LAPD. And it's well known and documented that there were South Side Crips who were police officers in the LAPD. And Suge Knight, being a so-called blood, he knew them. They were in cahoots with Suge. This is well documented. You can look this up. South Side Crips were in the LAPD. Yes. So the LAPD, and I told a good brother of mine this, I would not be surprised if it comes out. Don't know if we'll live to see it. Hopefully we will. It would not surprise me if it comes out that the LAPD corroborated with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. They shared information, shared notes, what so have you, to set up Pac to be murdered. Later, got Biggie. It would not surprise me in the least bit if this comes out. Y'all have to pay attention. You have to see the bigger picture. Gang members, street gang members, have limited power. I'm going to repeat that again. These street gangs, Bloods, Crips, Gangster Disciples, Vice Lords, Black P Stones, they have limited power. The police who make deals with these gangs, and they do, let's keep it real. Let's keep it 1,000. They do. They're the ultimate gang members. They have the ultimate power. They are state-sponsored gang members, the police. Not just the LAPD, but the Chicago PD, the Detroit PD, the Philly PD, the NYPD, Atlanta PD, Houston PD, San Francisco PD, Oakland PD. All these police departments are gangsters, state-sponsored gangsters, and they could murder and get away with it. A street gang member can't do that. If Ray Ray is in the Bloods, or I give you one, even not even the Bloods and Crips. If Ray Ray is a gangster disciple, and Daquan is a vice lord, and they warn with each other, yeah, they kill one, kill the other one. Then yeah, he's gonna go to jail, but it's not gonna be it's not gonna, or they may not solve it. That's what's gonna happen. They say, well, it was just two niggers killing each other. That's what they do. The family's not gonna see. It's not gonna get justice. They won't. It won't be a cover up, a major cover up, like the Tupac murder, like the Biggie murder, like the murder of brother Malcolm. But one of them will go to jail. It won't be a conspiracy like these murders were, with Pookie killing Ray Ray or Daquan, whatever. It won't be a conspiracy. It won't. Just keep it. Let's just be real. It won't be a conspiracy. They'll solve that like that. But with a high profile person like how Tupac was high profile. He was making movies. We know about his catalog of music, but Tupac was out there. His parents were Black Panthers. His parents were Black Panthers. His godfather was Geronimo Pratt. That was his godfather. Tupac was in the movement. His mom was in the movement. Both his parents. His stepdad was too. Aunts were. Then when he started rapping and start spitting those lyrics from the Black Panthers, had the fruit of it was getting knowledge from the fruit of Islam and from the late great brother Dr. Khalid Muhammad. Oh, no, we can't have this nigga doing this. Tupac was on their radar. He was high profile. People like me and others. Tupac was a Gen Xer. Tupac was 5 years older than I was. Tupac was born in 71. I was born in 76. He was 5 years older than me. Could have been my big brother. Matter of fact, he's a year older than my twin brothers. Me and Tupac grew up around the same time. Grew up in the 1980s. So people from our generation were starting to listen to Pac. Was listening to Pac. He was influencing us. And the powers that be, this government, these police departments, they did not like it. They did not like it one iota. And like I said a couple minutes ago, Tupac was in LA, was in Atlanta. But he had left Atlanta and he was in LA more. Had moved his mom to from Atlanta to LA. Bought her a house out there. He was out there a lot. At first, he was out here in the Bay Area. Then he migrated to LA. I wish he would have stayed out here because he would have stayed the course. And dare say he may still be with us had he stayed in Oakland. But that's just my opinion. LA is toxic. Los Angeles. Yeah, I know Tupac did a song to live and die in LA. Great song, but LA is garbage. Lost garbageless. Lost garbageless. That's what LA is. I'm not a fan of LA. It's dirty, it's smelly, and the people are just fucked up. Excuse me for cussing, but they are. A lot of them are. Have some good people in LA. Have good people everywhere, but the majority of LA people that I've met are fucked up. They are, and the city is too, especially now. But in any event, where was I at? Oh, okay, so he was in LA making movies, doing his videos, still doing music, making great music. He didn't want to be involved in Hollywood, all that, all that stuff. Didn't want to be involved with Quincy Jones and that weirdness that he's involved in. Love Quincy Jones, great, great. His the body of work that he has produced for decades is phenomenal. I give him his flowers and all respect on that. But Quincy Jones is in some weird shit, y'all. He is. He just is. Let's keep it a buck. But in any event, Pac was out in LA, so he was on their radar. He was. And the youth was starting to pay attention to him. Or we're already paying attention to him. We love Pac. We love Biggie. But Pac more because people love Pac more because he was saying what was on the minds of us, talking about police brutality. He had the mind of a Chuck D, KRS One, Ice Cube, and then you combine it with Rakim. He studied from these brothers. Ice T, he studied from him. So, and then, but then when he made a deal with the devil, Suge Knight, the white devil's puppet, Suge Knight, that's when Pac left the course. That's when he lost focus. He started involving himself in this East Coast, West Coast beef, talking about sleeping with Biggie's wife, you know, talking about my fault, make sure your kids don't grow. Um, Beefing with Lil Kim, calling her all kind of bees and hoes, just beefing with other East Coast artists. He lost the course. And that's when I start saying, F Pac. F him. I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling this. Because those artists he had beef with, I love those artists. I was a fan of Lil Kim. Still am. Even though she done messed herself up, I'm not a fan of that, but I'm a fan of her music. I'm giving her flowers. I was a fan of Biggie. Huge fan of Biggie. Huge fan of Mobb Deep. Rest in peace, Prodigy. Rest in peace, brother. May Allah be pleased with your soul. Huge fan of Mobb Deep. Huge fan of Nas, which was a misunderstanding, and they reconciled. They came together and pieced it up 2 days before Pac was shot. 2 days before that fateful day, that fateful night in Vegas. 2 days. That Thursday. Him and Pac squashed whatever misunderstanding they had. Thank Allah. So I was a fan of him. And the powers that be saw that. And I believe they corroborated with the police, LAPD, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police, to murder Pac. And later, Biggie was collateral damage for what happened to Pac. That's what the murder of Biggie was, collateral damage from what happened to Tupac. And the murders of Big L and Freaky Ta was the collateral damage of the deaths of Pac and Biggie. That was the 90s, from 96 to 99, that 4-year period. What we just witnessed the destruction of hip hop. God bless the Wu-Tang Clan. God bless the Lost Boys. God bless all those Outcasts, Goody Mob, DMX, Big Pun, the late great Big Pun, the late great Big L. All those who were making great music during that time. Redman, Razkaz, The Roots, Common, Jay-Z even. God bless them. But the ship had already sunk. to look where we at now. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down. Hit the subscribe button so you get notifications on the new videos on here. But this was not justice for the families, Pac or Biggie, to their friends, loved ones. They did not receive justice because, like I said earlier, the deaths of Tupac and Biggie are connected, and those are the facts. Those are straight facts. Justice was not served in the least bit. This is a farce. Just like they arrested the brothers who supposedly gunned down Brother Malcolm, they didn't do it. The real killers got away. And the real killers were in the CIA, the FBI, and the NYPD. They're the ones who got away. But Allah's justice will come upon you, America. We are witnessing her fall. Whatever a man reapeth, that shall he. Whatever a man reap, that shall he sow. Those are God's words. I had to think about it for a second. We reap what you sow. So, okay. Forgive me. But in any event, y'all have a blessed and wonderful day. Brothers as well as sisters, y'all be safe out here. Whether you're going to work, coming home from work, taking the kids to school, picking them up, running errands, whatever you may be doing, please be safe. Beware and be aware of your surroundings. Be safe. Take care of each other, love one another, and just take care. Take care of yourselves and each other, and just love yourself and love each other. Let's do that. Hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, share this video. Let's have a conversation. And like I always say, let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Don't have the emotion, but let's just use logic in our disagreements. That's all I ask. Share this video on social media. Let's start the conversation. Many of you have already started the conversation even before this video. So let's continue it. So the next time, y'all take care. I love you and God bless. Thank you. Support my podcast and support the channel. God bless you. Take care. I love y'all. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.